Welcome back from the break. Of course, we are here talking about a virtuous professional. And we have a panel. We have Julius Chiganda, who is a student's academic minister at Makerere University. And of course, we have Miss Asiimwe Emily, who is a senior teacher at Nakasero Primary School. She's also a lecturer at Victoria University and Bugema University. And of course, we also have David, who is the executive director at Namumpa Morals Initiative. And we are discussing this topic, just in case you've just joined us. And before the break, Miss Emily, there is something that I was trying to raise about academic indiscipline. And of course, this affects the quality of a teacher. Now, what are some of these behaviors the student teachers get involved in while studying and staying their moral standards?
In the first place, there is a lot of plagiarism in students. Students tend to struggle to copy and paste the knowledge of other scholars.
Where does this come from? Because we know senior fours are in their third week of exams, and then next week P7 candidates will also be, and neighbors always come out to say, please desist from Busasi. But I mean, still those cases will always come in. Doesn't it start from there? Nurtured by teachers still?
Yeah, actually, if we are to look at the root cause of this, malpractice, the main cause of it is, I want to rate it at the pressure to perform from different stakeholders. The school administrators are on pressure. They feel they want to struggle to look for market outside there, because you know education is like privatized in the country, and so we are in the same market looking for the same customers. And so for one to be able to capture the majority, it is all about how you perform at the end of it all. And this is majorly judged by the results at the end of the primary 7 level, or maybe senior 4 or senior 6. So school proprietors struggle to ensure that they capture the attention of the masses by giving out the grades, which in actual sense at times fail to come out because of course, major reasons. Possibly could be absenteeism by the students, maybe absenteeism by some of the teachers who do not observe the code of conduct, and very many other factors. And so you find that these teachers, the school administrators, and at times parents, because every other stakeholder is at pressure of producing results that will entice the country, and so they are forced, they find themselves in the trap of helping the young learners to produce results. But then I would say that really this is not professional healthy, and this is actually an academic indiscipline that can lead, that can make these children fail to make it in future, because a student or a child will continue in her in academic endeavors, but in actual sense this student cannot stand on him or by himself or on himself to defend the results that he holds on the transcripts. So this really puts down the teaching profession. I want to speak against this and call upon different stakeholders, the teachers outside there, the school administrators over there, and also our parents, not to put our children on pressure to struggle to get results. It is all, what is all important is a child growing up morally upright and struggling to make it with the little competence that a child can get. As long as he's morally upright, the world will always place this child.
That was one. And then the other indisciplines that surface?
Away from...
yes, away from this particular one we are explaining.
By the students?
But by the student teachers, and that reflect in an education setting.
There's quite a number, because away from plagiarism, you find that the students themselves do not concentrate. There is a lot that takes up their mind away from the education that they are meant to pursue. So they are in school, the moment they reach adolescence, there is a lot on social media, they get access to a lot of information, and so like my colleague has said, they get attracted and feel like this is something that you can easily get on a silver plate, and so they start yearning for those who have already made it, and so if they can easily tempt them, they can get tempted and end up misbehaving in the field of their career.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is we are talking about a very critical generation that is so curious that they want to know. They question everything that happens. I mean,
exactly.
So, and we are in an era of social media, and some parents have given up on their roles, and so social media is taking a lead in parenting, and that is really very, very unfortunate. But David, looking at still the same, what is the spiritual interpretation of teacher or learner in discipline in the learning process, and how does this affect the social discipline? The social discipline.
You see, Solomon is the wisest man who has ever lived. He did not go to school to attain the wisdom he got. He got it from God. And he says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 16, that why is there money in the hand of a fool to purchase wisdom without a heart for it? In the first place, you should go for something that you have a heart for. So when you see girls sleeping around with lecturers just because they are worried, what is mama going to say when I take a third-class degree home? When you see students photocopying courseworks just because they are so much convinced that a first-class degree is all they want to succeed in life, you are wondering, where are we going? Because it's not just about that. You will acquire those transcripts, but still be a liability to the society. You have to be this servant citizen who is into doing the best to transform not just yourself, but also the country, the society around you. And God is interested in blessing what is not just for you. The moment you prioritize the rest of the community and not think selfishly, you stand so many chances of triumphing at almost every endeavor you undertake. So we ought to let our young generation understand that, notwithstanding what the trajectory looks like by the virtue of what our elders do, still the right thing stands, and the Bible tells us that the truth shall finally set you free. You can only realize yourself, the best of who you are. That is the gift God put in you in the first place before you were created, to give the best to the community by doing or upholding the right moral standards in pursuit of their education. Because education, just like you have gold subjected to fire, it is getting refined so that we get the best out of it. Someone is going through education to be refined so that the best of him comes out to benefit. But you cannot realize that with those shortcuts, because in life there are no shortcuts to success. That's what I can say for now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Julius. Talking about the misconduct, or what we could call academic indiscipline reflected by teachers, is there a way you, as the students, have been affected by some of these misconducts that you've witnessed, probably either at the university where you are or probably in the other institutions where you've been?
So yes, thank you very much for that question. I am a firstborn in our family, whereby my parents are naturally teachers. They are teachers by profession. My father happens to be the head teacher of a government primary school and deep there in Nakasero district. All along my life,
Nakasero is not deep. Don't make the people of Nakasero think that they are at the edge of the country.
Yes, honestly, but what I'm trying to implicate is I've always grown up looking up to him, and I've seen his morals and ethical. He has been like holding the standards. So on this, I want to borrow a leaf, to pick a leaf. I'm dressed smartly today simply because I looked up to him. He could wake up very early in the morning, dress up in his tie and all his garments, and go straight to classrooms to deliver what he has to do as a teacher. But again, when you look at the current situation, there is a role these teachers are playing which is affecting us as students. There is a misconduct which happens, and in the end it's affecting the students in progressing and also realizing their academic goals. Number one, the dress code does have emphasized on it. Most teachers find that they dress indecently. I don't want to take sides, But you look at the current trend of the female gender and how things are changing. We used to have the traditional dress code whereby a woman, a virtuous woman, could dress decently. But you look at the trends which are happening. The teachers need to recognize this and check themselves in the way they dress up before they appear before students. This, in the end, try to affect students' concentration. So if a teacher comes in class and they're really smartly dressed, as a student, I'll really be focused. I would say really this teacher is very serious. I have to do this and this. I have to be attentive in class and have to really get the content which is being delivered. Number two, there is something happening in the university, the higher levels of learning, whereby some lecturers, they call it harassment. In a bid to give students marks, they try to implicate them to bring them into situations which are maybe for sexual desires or payment strategies. So in this phase, you find that students are influenced by the teacher's misconduct. So they need to recognize this, and at the end of the day, shouldn't be forcing students to be pushed to the other side due to their selfish or personal gains. This has affected more the female gender. On their side, on the least percentage, the male student. So I call upon the teachers to really look at these factors and also to recognize that as a teacher, what matters most is not what you deliver on the blackboard, but how you live your life as a teacher, how you conduct yourself before students. At the end of the day, students will pick a leaf from you and also embrace this attitude in their lives. And at the end of the day, I believe as a minister of academics in the university, also as a student who happens to be in the lecture room, who happens to be in the classroom, I believe that when I look at the person standing before me and really a virtuous professional, there's a virtuous lecturer, a virtuous teacher in secondary, university, primary, and they're really upholding their ethics and really representing what really is imperative to be presented to students. And at the end of the day, I believe that students really will have a greater generation, a new generation of students who can really make impact in society. Yes.
Thank you so much. Now, Madam Asiimwe,
yes,
there
please.
is something that, of course, we've talked about cheating, and it seems as if that is the only indiscipline case that happens in school. But there's also something I believe is being nurtured in school silently. For example, when we were still in school, of course, you would contest on a prefectorial post, and then on a lorry, you splash sweets to the crowds, and then you would see learners fighting for these sweets. But these days it's even advanced that parents are also engaged. You allow them come to school, they come with money, they come with biscuit, they come with a lot of things. They come with soda and cake and what. I mean, it becomes very big and exaggerated. And don't you think that while the country struggles with issues of bribery, of voter bribery and corruption and what, it is nurtured from at that point?
Generally, what I can say about that, I want to simply say that this is actually a global challenge. It is not just in these young learners, but it's just developed globally, because it's like it is known that for one to contest and go through, it has to do with your income, your status. How do you stand via money? What do you have that you can deliver to the voters? And so these young children grow up seeing their parents do this at home. They know that for one to contest and win over there, one must at least deliver. You must do something. You must part with some money and give the voters so that they can be able to vote you into power. And so because it has come from there, it has not stopped there, it has gone to the children. Because these children, they grow to emulate what they see. So this is what they have seen their parents do. This is what they see it on media. It is all over the place, it is everywhere. And so they know for one to contest and go through, you must part with money. It is not, it has started actually with the top officials, and so the vibes goes down up to the young children.
Madam
and so
Asiimwe,
when it reaches the young learners, to us, some schools go of course against it, and they stop children from doing that, and to talk to parents to stop it, because it nurtures it nurtures corruption naturally at a young level. But it is hard to challenge this in the young children, because even if you stop it maybe from using these physical gifts, they are capable of going back and take them somewhere, maybe at the canteens in their free time, and give them something small hidden, because the vice is actually developed globally.
Don't you think that it shouldn't be about just stopping it, but also telling these learners that the challenges that come with that?
Yes, indeed. This is, of course, what we start with. We explain the dangers of looking for votes in such a way, because we give them one, you can end up voting someone who is not really right, who is not able to deliver to your expectations simply because he has money. And I want to say that this is what has affected our country. We have managed to get leaders who are not capable to deliver simply because they are capable in finance, they are able to fund and buy votes. And so voters, the poor voters out there, they are convinced by the little money, the 5,000 are not given unto a hand of a peasant, convinces this person to vote one who may not actually be the right candidate. And so when it comes to our young children, we always try to speak against the vice, but it is hard to control it completely, to curb it, because they see it, if it is to stop, it should be fought globally or countrywide. That is when we can be able to achieve results out of it.
Okay. David, in the same development, of course, as we look at who is wrong and who is right, should we condemn this learner and even punish them, or we start with the parent who we do not have authority over? But there is also something that has come up these days. Of course, when you check on very many traffic checkpoints or roadblocks, you realize that gone are the days when they would stop you and then give you a ticket. These days they stop you and they ask you, which religion are you? When you tell them you're Christian, they'll even refer to a particular verse in Matthew, and of course they tell you now, do what the scripture says. And where are we going at this point, where people are even using the Bible to take bribes?
The misinterpretation of Matthew chapter 5 verse 25 is quite catastrophic, because someone is convinced you have to settle the matter with someone who's judging you before he takes you to court.
Yes.
You see, it's unfortunate that even the so-called mature Christians, practicing ones, are misinterpreting this. And they find that as a justification to their misconduct. But you have a monkey learning to steal, not because it has to go to class and sit on a blackboard to learn how to steal. It's just because from the time it's born, the mother's got it on its back. Wherever it goes, this child is watching. So by the time it learns how to crawl, how to move on its own, it's an expert at stealing. And it's going to do that very perfectly. So you have a child sitting in a passenger's seat, but you reach a traffic police officer who stops you, and then the first thing that you do, whether you have an offense or not, but it's because you think it's a way of life, you pick up a 2,000, a 5,000 note and you hand over to the traffic police officer. The child is learning, and you don't need to educate him beyond that. He's getting misled. He's getting miseducated. And we have to be leaders by example. You are a parent, but treasure always to be interested into doing things or practicing what your children are going to live up to and make you proud. So it's what I believe we have to do collectively. Religious leaders, parents, families, teachers, we need to understand it's a collective responsibility and live to serve the purpose right.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Even as we draw closer to the end of this whole conversation, I know it is very interesting, but that our time is also running very fast. Julius, having looked at all these having seen what happens at the various levels of education, and having come from a family of educationists, who do you think should take a lead in implementing, especially the morals in society and in the education sector?
Yes, I believe that the fundamental should start from the parents themselves. They should uphold right ethics and the right system for these students or their children before they go to the classrooms. As parents, they should embrace the following virtues. You see that me as a student, I would like to acknowledge my parents for really stepping in and always showing me the path to take, in order to achieve my career goals and also my engineering career. Naturally, I'm studying to become an engineer, electrical engineer. But again, parents, there are some constituents they are doing wrong in one way or the other. So them being pillars to embrace this movement forward. You look at some of them, they are overprotecting and defending these children when they are wrong. As parents, they should stand out and really show direction, not just beat around the bush because they overlove their children. And sometimes children do wrong, and sometimes they dodge and they sympathize with them. We call it pampering. Sometimes parents pamper these students, and at the end of the day, they fail to achieve what they have to achieve at school. Number two, there's negligence of parents, whereby they push this to the school authorities. As I say, it should be the start. The charity begins at home and shouldn't end there. So these parents should sit down and really not neglect their roles by pushing it to the school side, but also embracing it and mentoring the students before they go to the schools. They should sit them down and show them the right direction, the sense of direction they should have. Then number three, we shouldn't put too much pressure. As parents, they shouldn't put too much pressure on students. You have to look at your child and at the end of the day realize what is their potential, what can they do best, what is their skill, what can they go for. So at the end of the day, when you realize what these students can do and then realize how much they can achieve academically, then at the end of the day we will see that you seek out the possibilities from these students. You find that some of them are skilled in talents. You find that some are footballers, some might not be intellectuals, great intellectuals academically, but find that they can excel as musicians, they can excel as footballers. We have seen many of the sort. So as parents, being the fundamental people to bring this on board, they should embrace this and make sure that the students succeed in their academic endeavors. Then also, you asked about those players, those big players. We look at also the schools. The school administration also should see that at least there's a conducive atmosphere for these students. Also, once they come to the schools, are there the necessary requirements for them to succeed well in their setting? Do they have the scholastic materials in the classrooms? Do they have the books, the pens, the desks to sit on? Are the teachers coming on time? Are they delivering? We need quality assurance in the things we do. So also, as the Ministry of Education and Sports, they should create favorable policies to favor these settings, the different levels of education. They should make favorable policies in terms of tuition policies, the support system. Some of them are handicapped in terms of the financial aspect. So are there policies which can help these students to work through the means of school fees and all that? So at the end of the day, it's a collaborative effort, and if they all work together, then a goal can be achieved.
Thank you so much, Julius. Madam Asiimwe, yes, we understand that, for someone to get into class, at least first their parents before they are called teachers. At least you're a parent, and then before you are a teacher. And we also know that, for example, Namumpa Morals Initiative is into awareness creation for mindset change, sensitizing societies, and of course, how academic indiscipline exaggerate corruption and immorality. How do you think this is important, especially in the generation we are in like about 2 or 3 minutes?
I wish to say that this initiative is actually very significant to society, and more so to the schools, because you really see that in a country or a nation is built by the young people. So it is majorly the young people that will be a country tomorrow. And so if this initiative is really put into place and it targets the schools, because this is where we have the teachers who talk to the children and impart and nurture children to be what they should be tomorrow. And so I want to say that this has come at the right time, and if it can be supported by the parents, by the school administrators, by non-government organizations to come together, and we really stand to ensure that we promote morals in the young generation.
Okay.
This is what I can say, and I think this will really help us to build a better Uganda.
Okay. Thank you so much. And of course, David, as the executive director of this initiative, who do you think should facilitate the implementation of the program? Is it you, the vision bearer, the executive director, all?
We need to understand also that these are our children. They are not American children, they are not Russian children. So it's incumbent upon us, I mean the parents, the government, the non-state actors, the state actors, to come together and understand even the religious places of worship. Because we learn these things from different places, different avenues. But nowadays, you will realize that the true message that speaks about corruption is becoming very contaminated nowadays. People are compromising because at the end of the day, it's about what is the tithe that is coming in, and then what is that middle basket, what is that offering that is. So when you go straight and have the message, the true gospel against corruption spread, it's a problem in one way or another to some religious elders, which is not right, because you have to understand that when you compromise and stop saying things as you're supposed to, these young people are learning from you, and what you camouflage about is what they're going to also camouflage about.
Okay.
So it's a collective responsibility, and I believe all the stakeholders are responsible.
And your closing remarks in a minute.
The closing remarks tonight, I would say that I call upon the different stakeholders to support this initiative. We have ongoing programs in universities, in schools. We are already in Makerere University, in Chambogo University, and we want the young people to understand what are the long-term consequences of academic indiscipline, because they exacerbate corruption. We hope to continue this conversation from here, and we have our social media accounts in the name of Namumpa Morals Initiative, NMI, that's a YouTube channel. We have an email account that is namumpamoros@gmail.com, but also for support, partnership, and donations, you can still reach out to us. Mwalimu David is on the different media platforms, social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, but also you can support through donating to Stanbic Bank, Wandega branch, 903-002-508-3953, Stanbic Bank, in the names of Namumpa Morals Initiative. Still, the merchant code can work for mobile money, 276292. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much, Madam Asiimwe, and thank you so much, Julius. And to you, our viewer, thank you so much, you who we started with, and we've come to the end. But before I go, I want to remind you that the Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, together with the management of Church of Uganda Family TV, invite you for our third annual Echoto breakfast, which is scheduled for this Friday on the 31st of October 2025 at Golf Course Hotel from 7:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and of course this will be live on Church of Uganda Family TV. Therefore, in case you can make it to Golf Course Hotel, and this year's theme is parenting in the age of artificial intelligence, or in the age of AI. Very, very pertinent and timely topic of discussion that I wouldn't want you to miss out. And of course, this is our third annual Echoto breakfast. So see you there on Friday. And of course, I've worked with Jonah Jal Owakabi and Muhumuzan from the entire team. We wish you a blessed night.